Let's fucking go.
All right, let's do it. Here's the thing. I didn't do a silly thing. A silly thing happened because OBS was like, here are the recommended settings for what you want to do. And I was like, all right, if you say so. And turns out that what OBS decided was that we weren't going to use my GPU to encode the stream. Instead, we were going to just raw dog it with the CPU. Turns out it did not like that.
At
Imagine
the very
that.
top of tech, Will asked us, was like, why is my CPU overloaded? To us, to our face.
I wasn't here.
Right here.
I did.
Yeah.
I did ask that.
Yeah. You did.
And then someone accused it
didn't
of
make
Google,
sense.
and I was like, no, that's RAM.
Now I know. It's my bad, okay? We're not here
Someone
to air
said
my
that.
mistakes.
What if we were, though?
That would be
What if
silly.
we distracted?
Listen,
Chat, drop your favorite JT mistake in the chat.
Whoa, no!
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
Shots fired.
Oh. Let's go.
We don't have to do that. Too many people.
Someone
know
get
that.
is Kian in the chat? Someone get Kian in the chat.
I don't think- I
Kian's
think-
here. Oh, Kian's here.
Cool.
I
Everybody
don't
drop
think that
your
they're
favorite
listening
JT
anymore.
mistake. Damn. Well, with all of that being said, hopefully that is the last issue that we will have. Maybe not. Who knows? But it seems to be doing better, generally speaking. I think we were talking about cogs.
He was under no obligation.
I'm under no obligation.
You're under a little bit of an obligation.
Little bit.
It's,
But you're only taking one stress from this obligation,
Right.
so that's
well, if I've done this all before, haven't I?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so Cogs's daily routine consists mostly of running about public common spaces and preventing little disasters in what they can only describe to themselves as the most vain attempt at anything. They keep a little leather journal where once they've finished doing something like saving a server tray or stopping two people bumping into each other, they have a little tally mark where they go in and they mark everything down. The front cover of this leather book has a number carved into it, the number 3056. And that is what they are doing. They are a very small person, around 5'4", but very underweight. Their hair is what I would refer to as dark brown chic, but this nice gentle shade of red. They have two different colored eyes, and they have a pair of goggles that they wear on their head because before all this they were just an engineer. And of course a pilot, but an engineer first. So that is where we would find them today, sprinting about.
Very cool. Very cool. And I think it is probably as you dive to catch one of those trays falling in the commissary off the edge of a table. I guess I'll ask you, do you succeed?
I think most of the time they would have been successful, but they factored in a new incident this go around, and were just maybe like a split second too late to prevent spillage. So
Okay.
tray in hand, glasses on tray, not.
Okay, very cool. And then yeah, I think you managed to catch that, and you hear a voice as you do so clear their throat. And where the tray fell off the edge of the table, you look up from where you have managed to catch it, and you see someone sitting there alone. He's wearing a military outfit. These sort of like dark green fatigues, but it's very much cut in the style of more of a dress uniform. However, in this case, the uniform is a little bit odd because the general and the other officers moving about the Delphi that you've seen before, they have they have pips, they have medals, they have demarcations of rank and things like that on their uniforms. And this person does not, for the most part, except that there are two small on each of the arms, on each of the outsides of the arms of the uniforms, there is a small iron lightning bolt. And as you look up, you recognize the face looking back at you. It is old. It is grizzled. The features are worn. There's a little bit of like snow white stubble on his face. He is like, despite his age, he is whip thin. What's left of his hair is bristly and still in a military cut. Most notably, though, would be the tired-looking brown eye and then the jagged scar over the other one, which is an icy blue color. You know this individual because, as far as you can tell, and as far as you've been able to tell since your time being here, he is in charge of all of the operators. The ranking officer, except you've never heard a rank given when speaking about him. In fact, you've only ever heard him referred to by one name, and that name is Odin. And he looks down at you. Operator.
Stolen man.
Why not have a seat? Join me.
356. And Cox will gently place the tray back on the table and sit across from.
You sit down and he makes eye contact with you very intensely and then brushes his arm to the side, pushes the tray off the edge.
Cox will move to catch it.
Okay. I mean, was this something that you knew was going to happen?
I think so. Yeah.
I guess are you reacting or are you proacting?
I think they try to make it look like they're reacting for Odin's entertainment, but this is routine for this particular sequence.
Okay. Sure, yeah. I think you catch it, but some of the food still spills off of it and onto the floor. But you manage to catch the tray itself. So I guess you're not infallible.
415. Never claimed to be.
What is it that you're hoping to accomplish here? Scurrying all over the ship, stopping little mishaps, inconveniences.
Shouldn't it be every public figure's duty to make haste improving the day of the fellow crew?
Perhaps. But this seems like something else to me. Obsession, compulsion, call it what you want, but I've seen it before.
I've got about 23 other instances of this that say you haven't.
Not exactly like you. Not with stopping trays from dropping or people tripping over untied shoelaces, walking on a floor that was too freshly washed. But you spend long enough synced with an engine, tapping into that spark. Starts to change you.
$156 for your edification. If perhaps, like every other time, you mean to imply that I am too close to ego death, I assure you that me and Postvorta are further apart than ever. You would think a god of time could tell me how to fix this, but as for the compulsions, as you cause them, everything has a consequence, and for those who are not aware, something like a spilled drink or a tripped private or even perhaps a missed date could seem of little consequence at the time. I can point to disasters within the bigger picture that occur if I do not prevent certain incidents from occurring. Now, if you had the bigger picture, I'm assuming you're a very big picture man, given your position.
You'd be surprised.
For the sake of argument, I'm going to assume you have a capacity to look at the greater of things. Wouldn't you run around and prevent any disaster you could?
I don't know that I would.
Perhaps that's why you're in charge.
Gods are infallible, operator. Or so they would have had us believe. Men, humanity, we exist in the struggle.
Fallibility is not a weakness.
On that point, we agree.
$84, again, for your edification. Also, it itches if I don't say it. But
I think that's a new record.
23. Humility's not your strong suit either.
You drop enough trays. You slip on enough floors. You learn to stop wasting time with humility.
There are deaths and disasters that are preventable with humility. I think it does our people well to see one of their public figures, one of their untouchable pilots, cleaning up mess and preventing coffee spilled. Humility is the difference between someone getting fired or the next commander-in-chief being appointed of our big pointy gun. Humility is the difference between Hope, your storm ship.
I guess that's what rubs me the wrong way about you, operator. He'll stand up. There aren't any preventable deaths. Not at this point. I know that. I assume you know that. It's just a matter of time. You might be able to delay it for a little while, but men like you and me, people like you and me, we know how this ends.
If that were true, I probably wouldn't be frantically running around cleaning up mess.
Well, as long as you are cleaning up messes. And he'll look meaningfully at the food that spilled on the ground when you caught the tray the second time. And then he'll say, as you were, and
As
walk
always
out
I am.
of the commissary.
Cogs will get a mop and a broom, and they do clean up the food that they spilled.
All right. Take one stress. Extremely manageable. Your obligations out of the way, in the time that we have left in the stream, you have a little bit of a chance to relax, do some stuff, and intermingle with each other if you so desire. That's right, we're moving into the downtime phase. So you got a couple options here. You can make a connection, which is how you get links with each other. Basically, that's like hanging out, doing things together, having conversations, whatever. You create bonds between each other and you get links, which you can then spend during the mission. They give you bonuses, or they let you give other people bonuses, essentially. Also notable that because we are doing On a Sea of Stars, that playset, you can also make a connection with your engine instead of with other people. You can do that internally. You can help a friend recover. None of you are injured at the moment. So there is so there's that. That is for harm, not stress. Although I do think you can spend links to get rid of stress. Am I mistaken about that?
You can
Yes.
use.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. You can work on a long-term project if you have something in mind that you want to work on. Basically, I'll give you a clock, and you can fill in segments on that clock that mark when you reach your goal. There's another option called Investigate, except that because we're doing, again, On the Sea of Stars playset, instead of Investigate, we have one called Readiness, which is helping to prep the Citadel fleet for an imminent attack, because there is always an imminent attack. This is not a playset of investigating and solving a mystery and being proactive. This is a playset about reacting to horrific monsters attacking you all the time. So everybody gets what is it? 2 downtime actions,
Hey, Will,
I think. Yeah, what's up?
I have a question.
What's up?
Is Troyan allowed out of her cell?
Probably. Yeah, I think so. I think you get to go on walks. I think you might have an escort,
Unsupervised?
maybe.
Aw.
You might have an escort
Aw.
for now. I mean,
I'm so nice.
So I think I get an extra action during downtime
You do, because you're the unlikely hero.
because I
Yeah.
can't transcend. I'm just going to hang out with all my
That is the-
friends.
That is the payoff. I love that.
Cool.
I wish you would. So it's a chance to sort of establish some connections between you all. At least the make a connection part of this is. So that's, I guess, a good place to start here. If anybody wants to make a connection with a teammate or a mech.
I think Chief, having just been given this obligation to lead, would probably want to make make a connection. So I'm gonna base this based on the promises that we started.
Yes, excellent idea.
I have a promise that I would martyr myself to save Tulu. So I would like to make a connection with her the best that I can. I guess I need to know what is she doing in her day to day, so that I can know where Chief is gonna like try and meet her in the middle, I guess.
Well, I will throw it out there before I throw it to you, Izzy, that the one option is you may or may not have caught a certain broadcast that maybe left you with some concerns as to her well-being.
Yeah. Okay, having heard that, Chief is gonna call Tulu and ask to meet in the mess hall.
And so, Tolu, I imagine for you, you're probably just getting back to the Citadel, back to the warship, back to the Delphi.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So if she gets that call, she'll like check her phone. Is someone what is this? What's happening? Why are we what?
Calm down. Everything's gonna be fine.
Great.
I caught you on the vids.
They're already airing that? Can you even give me an hour?
It was live.
Oh, great. Wonderful. I knew that, and that's why I was so well rehearsed.
Listen, you said the right things, but you were definitely nervous. Meet me in the mess hall. We're gonna just sit, we're gonna chat, you get a bite to eat. Tell me what your thoughts are, but let's not just do it on the phone here, okay?
Are there tater tots today?
I don't know. Listen, I was just told that we got hit in the last attack in the, with the food production. So if they have tater tots, here, let me make the promise. If there's tater tots, I'll get some, you'll get mine as well, okay?
All right, I'll meet you at the mess hall.
Okay. And then I would say, like, I was probably at my bunk when I saw the vid, and I'm like, old body stretching, everything cracks and crinkles and such as I get up and I start going towards the mess.
Relatable. Fantastic. Yeah, cool. I mean, given everything that I'm putting you all through, it feels like it'd be extra cool to say that there are not tater tots. So yeah, we can jump to your meeting in the mess hall where Tolu is you have a double tot ration in front of you.
Double tots.
Yeah. I'd say, like, yeah, as soon as we sit with our trays full of food, I just immediately scoop my tots onto your tray and, like, as promised, double tots.
Thanks, Chief. I needed this.
Yeah. How are you hanging? How are things going, kid?
Well, do you want the PR answer or do you want the truth?
I don't care about the PR answer. That's not why I'm asking. I'm asking for the truth.
I don't think they want me here. And she sort of gestures around, like, just the mess hall in general, without looking around, just, like, doesn't want to see if anyone is staring at her, but is like, yeah, I think we're waiting for me to die, which is fine. That's cool. It happens sometimes.
Don't say that. whatever you do, don't.
You said you wanted the truth.
If people think you're going to die, that's their damn problem. But you can't think you're going to die. You're not allowed to believe it's okay for you to die. I've buried too many people. Reed was not the first friend I've lost to this. I don't need to lose you, kid.
Promise me more tater tots, and we'll talk.
Okay. Bribing with tater tots. I can do that. That's not a big deal. Just make the promise to me that if something goes wrong out there at any point, you let me know and I'll be there.
And she'll look at him for a little bit and then put an elbow up on the table and offer for a pinky promise.
Goes back, pinky promise connection. Okay. Now eat your tots before they get cold, okay?
Yeah. And she just starts shoveling them into her mouth. It's not cute. It's appalling.
Oh, okay. Apparently they don't feed you out there. That's fine. That's fine.
I mean, yeah, the military vessels get first crack at those tot rations.
So to do this, I give links to Tulu, and I'm going to roll with empathize. That seems to be the most logical action, which I rolled that earlier. So you should get 4 links with me.
Hell yeah.
So on your character sheet, write my name where it says links, which I think is, where is that? Bottom right-hand
Bottom
corner.
right, yeah.
And put 4 in there.
Wow.
And then since this is a back and forth exchange, I think, Tolu, if you also want to spend a downtime action for this, you can pick one of your actions to roll and give Chief some links with you as well, if you want to.
I think I'm going to go with confess. Sounds right. Does that
that sounds good to me.
So I have one little check mark in there. So how many?
1d6.
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 That's a 5.
Nice.
Nice. That is 3 segments for Chief.
Perfect.
Fantastic. Very, very cool. And yeah, downtime stuff is a little bit weird because you haven't gone, like, obviously with the normal flow of a game, you go on a mission, you get back, you have your obligations, and then downtime is your opportunity to decompress with each other and do things like that, work on your projects. You obviously have the catastrophe that happened a couple of weeks ago, but you've probably been kind of decompressing from that already. And normally, you know, in the course of play, you'll have moments of tension with each other, moments of maybe even tenderness with each other, to help guide this. But for now, we're kind of just going through this the first time together.
Can I do something?
Yeah. Please.
So I feel like Roswell and Tulu in the mess hall is a perfect opportunity because I also have things for both of you. So I feel like Grace, if it's okay, would just kind of like shuffle into the mess hall, grab their food, sit down just like automatically next to Tulu without even thinking about it. And then just like handful of tots onto your tray, like as if this is like a routine that we have. And then after going through all of those motions, like looks over at the tray, realizes there's another tray in front of you, looks up and sees Roswell there and is like, "Oh, hey, did you want some tots?
Triple tots.
Full tots. No, I'm good. I don't need the tots.
Okay, good, because I promised mine to this one over here for probably the end of time. Yeah.
That's fine. How are things going?
Oh, good. They want to run extra tests on me weekly now instead of the normal whenever, which is probably not information you need to know, but that's okay. You know, lab coats don't weird me out. So,
Are you good?
yeah, totally good. I just had another one of those weird nightmares, and I was only taking a nap this time. It wasn't even like a full sleep. So, like, I don't know what's going on with that, but apparently they want to test it. Anyway, were you talking about something important? Am I interrupting something here?
Just the Todd exchange.
Yeah, just the Todd economy, I suppose.
The state of the Todd economy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, before they took those reusable bags away from us, I used to shove them in my pocket, you know, to take home later.
They hold up really well.
They do. But then, you know, I know how much you love them. So
I
you can have
appreciate
my
you.
time. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah.
Grace, how are you? Your nightmares, how often are you having them?
Well, ever since the thing happens, they've been pretty much every time I fall asleep longer than 10 minutes, which I didn't think was a problem until... Why are you looking at me like that?
10 minutes? Do you just like take micro naps, like 5-minute naps, and then you're fine?
Theoretically, it's this new method I'm trying out because sleeping for long periods of time has just not been working, you know, like the insomnia is just wild. So I've been doing this new thing where you take like a power nap every 3 hours, which doesn't really work here because sometimes we have stuff to do. So then I have to try to make up for it like after the fact with like, you know, more 20-minute naps. And then, but ever since the nightmare started, that's been just really hard to keep up with.
What are they doing about the nightmares?
I got this like nice looking doctored person in a lab coat that does stuff, and then I go home. I don't know.
Okay, are they giving you pills to take, and are you taking them?
No, they're not giving me pills to take, which I actually was surprised because I've been complaining about this knee thing forever, but they think that that's pretty normal too.
Scale of 1 to 10, how nice is the nice doctor?
Oh, you know, probably... For your scale, which your standards are way higher than mine, so probably like a 7. But for me, you know, with all the trauma, it's like more like a 10.
7/10. Very nice. Okay, so maybe keep going to these tests then.
Yeah, you know, I'm still trying to figure out if it's just because they're supposed to be nice to me, but you know, I'm in that phase. Because I don't know what the boundaries are here about that kind of stuff.
Very unclear.
Yeah.
Grace, do me a favor, and if things start to feel a little weird about that, let me know.
About the doctor, the
Yes,
nightmares, or my knee?
All of the above.
Yeah, you got it, Chief.
Great.
Didn't think you cared that much, but that's good to know.
Yo,
Yeah.
he's been all about this caring thing lately. It's wild.
Maybe something happened.
I know, right? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like every time he comes with it, it's
I'm right
bizarre.
here. I can hear you. Your whispering is not that great. Like, of course I care about you. I care about all of you.
I just mean, you know, like...
Deeply sus.
Yeah, like obviously you have to care about us. It's
I
kind of
don't-
your job.
I don't care about you because it's my job. I care about you because you're important to me.
Because we're incredibly charming and fun, of course.
We bring the personality, so
You're welcome.
mm.
Oh gosh, I'm babysitting brats. Okay. Just keep me informed. Let me know what's up.
All right, are you gonna eat that bread?
I was. Do you want it?
No. It's fine. I mean, I'll give you.
Tolu puts her bread on Grace's plate.
Thank you. No, you can keep your bread now. I'm good.
Okay.
Starts eating it.
I would normally be concerned, but there are so many tots now, so I guess
It's a lunch exclusively of tots.
Yeah.
you will have to eat some form of protein at some point.
That's what you think.
Potatoes have potassium in them, or at least they used to. I don't know if they do anymore.
But that's not protein, that's potassium.
Well, you need it though, so that you don't.
And it starts with a P.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you, voice from the sky.
That's right.
That's what I'm here for.
Chief is going to form a log of like all of your eating habits, everyone, and he's going to make sure you all eat your vegetables, okay? Potatoes don't count.
Regimenting.
Aw.
So can I conceal? Like, is that something I can do during this conversation?
Yeah, I
Like-
think there's a fair amount of deflecting happening here.
Yeah,
I think that makes
like-
sense.
Grace totally has like a thing every time they see you, Chief, but they don't know what it is. It's like a feeling. Like, yeah, obviously we've been here for a while, but like there's something like I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's totally
Okay.
fair.
What
So
I
you're
have to
giving
do?
links to the chief.
Yes.
Cool. Then you're gonna roll with conceal.
Okay.
So however many dots you have, roll that many.
I
D6s.
only have one.
All right, roll 1d6.
4.
That is 3 links. 3 links on Grace for the chief.
I've got so many links. I can help
You
you
do,
do so
and you
many
only-
things.
You were also expressing a lot of concern for Grace. You have 1 downtime action left, Roswell. So if you want to spend that to make a connection with Grace, you can, but you don't have to.
I was going to do it with Mott, but
Yeah.
that's where my other secret, like my
Yeah.
other promise is. So
I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I will also say that Tolu, you have 2 downtime actions left, and you are also part of this conversation if you want to make a connection with Grace.
Yes, I would like to do that, please.
All right.
That was
What
the
do you want to roll
plan.
for that?
How about I think I'm gonna go with empathize. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have 1 there, so I'm just rolling the 1 dice, right?
Yes, correct.
That's 4.
3 links. Grace, you get 3 links with Tolu.
And do I have links with Grace now? Or no?
Grace made a connection with,
With
Chief.
Chief. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you made a connection with Grace, and you made a connection with Chief, and Chief made a connection with you. So Grace has 1 downtime action left, Tolu has 1 downtime action left, and Roswell has 1 downtime action left.
Well, I have 1 more left. Okay, I can do.
And you don't have to make a connection. You could make a connection with your engine, you could work on a personal project, you could help prepare the Bastion, which is the Citadel fleet for like the next attack. Which does, I should point out, also let you ask questions from your gather information list as part of that. So it is both how you advance the readiness track of the Citadel fleet for when it is inevitably attacked. Also, it's how you get to ask questions about like the world and stuff that's going on.
Okay. That's great. I don't think Grace wants to do that right now.
Makes sense, yeah.
Can I use like flow? Because like I feel like I don't know if this is the right way to use it, but I feel like me and Tulu are in, like kind of like flow with the tots and the bread and the exchange of the food, and kind of I feel like she's helping Grace deflect a little bit. I don't know. I'm making stuff
Okay.
up, but
No, I mean, I think that is in the spirit of flow.
right.
Certainly. So I think I'll allow it. Yeah, especially for giving links. So you're spending your 2nd downtime action to make a connection with Tolu.
Yes.
Cool. All right.
Okay. So I have I have 3 in that one. Did I roll 3?
Oh, So you only get the
Draw.
first two. The third one is only if you're transcended,
Okay.
which is when you're in your engine.
Got it.
I mean, you could transcend outside of it, but it would be a little silly.
That would be silly. Although kind of maybe something Grace would do. But I rolled a 6 and a 2.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So that's a 6, which means I think you get 5 links
Okay.
to Tolu. 4?
Yeah.
Okay, 4. Yeah.
So you
And
have,
do I put that down?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So you have 4 links with Grace.
It's a weird thing because
Yeah.
you do it to give
seconds
someone a
mark.
resource,
Yeah.
Got
It
it.
is strange.
which most games give you resources. But hey, it's teamwork, y'all.
Only if you roll well.
Teamwork. Yay.
Yeah, sure is. Cool. So yeah. You have your little 3-person lunch, the carbohydrate standard.
Rice, potatoes, and bread.
Oh yeah.
Delicious.
Let me just
Carbs
say
on carbs on
pasta.
We could get pasta in there. We'll get some nudes.
For sure. The engines run on carbohydrates, so you gotta load up.
Yes.
We're like the Tour de France every single day.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Chief, I know that you mentioned wanting to use your last downtime action for Troyan.
Yes. Specifically, my promise is I will always make sure the mech's ready to go.
Okay.
Not necessarily because I'm like particularly attached to Troyan, mostly because I know something is wrong with that mech.
Interesting.
Something is definitely off. So
Okay.
I would say after I've eaten with the two of them, I want to check on Troyan's mech.
Now here's the question that I would ask you.
Yes.
Do you think that's making a connection, or do you think that is making preparations? Because
That's a good question. You know
that
what?
is how you gather information.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that
Okay.
because that will help us as a team and also let me learn some things. So I'm gonna look at that
cool.
in the book
I
to
love
see
that.
what that means. Because
So basically you describe how you're readying the bastion for the next attack, which in this case could be, just tending to the mechs, making sure that everything is in
Mhm.
top condition, but giving special attention to Troyans.
Yeah.
And then you roll an appropriate action. I advance the readiness track based on the result, and you can ask me 1 or 2 questions from your gather info list. It's up to you.
perfect. Okay, so let's do that.
That sounds good.
I'll go to our wing where our mechs are all housed.
Mhm.
And you've said it's been a couple weeks, so by now our mechs are at least in working order.
Yeah,
Right.
100%. I think they are ready and raring to go.
So I'm not necessarily going to be walking around with like a wrench and tightening every bolt that's possible. But I want to use perceive to kind of investigate that mech, that weird. We don't know, so I'm gonna ask questions, I guess.
You absolutely can. I do just want to, since this is the first time we're interacting with one of the engines, I do want to throw it to Cass real quick and ask, what does your mech look like?
Oh, my sweet baby child. My totally normal looking mech.
Yeah.
So Ati, I'm trying to remember if I wrote down, because I don't remember what I said, several months ago.
There was some stuff in the doc. There was some suggestive stuff.
Yeah. So Ati is very angular, I think is the right way to describe Ati. There's long talons, and it looks like a mech should, but to quote chat, there's a vibe. There is a vibe. Something is off about this mech. and I think all the other like mechanics kind of avoid it. They're just like, I don't want to get on Ahti duty today. Who drew the short straw? But Ahti's very angular, but there is this. Oh, I'm trying to remember what show I watched 1.5 million years ago that I'm thinking of. But it looks like it used to be what the regular mechs look like, but there are parts of like the breadth of its shoulders, the way its legs are set up that are very much more reminiscent of Leviathan than of the mechs. And it's,
I mean, angular and what you're describing to me is giving like Ava vibes. 100%.
Yeah, it's very, I was like, is this Evangelion I'm thinking of? But yeah, it's very Ava vibes. Is it Appleseed? I don't remember. God, it's been so long since I watched Appleseed. But
Appleseed is a callback. Whoa.
Yeah. Like, I feel like it's very Appleseed, like where there's this structure involved, but it's way too fluid to be natural kind of thing. You know? Like it's the uncanny valley of mechs.
Ooh,
and it's
Googled.
and it's, I feel like it doesn't have a paint scheme. It just kind of changes color like an octopus.
Oh, I don't like that.
Like blending into its surroundings. So, yeah.
It's extremely creepy, but Appleseed is a very good pull. That's I Googled it.
Yeah, very Appleseed. So
cool. So there's that. That's what you're looking up at, Roswell.
Yeah, as I stare into Roswell, into its misshaped form and odd eyes, I want to... First, I'm going to roll my action, which is just perceive. I am just trying to learn everything just by looking at it. What is this monster in front of me?
Oh, don't call my baby that.
I got a 5.
The shoe fits. All right. So I'm going to mark 3 segments on the readiness track.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to ask pointed question towards the machine. And you can tell me, GM, the response. Now, I have a question that says, who here is afraid? I want to know what the mech is afraid of. What do I perceive as what it fears?
That's good.
I'm really glad I sent you that doc now.
Yeah. I think as you look on it and you stare into those like dead mechanical lenses that serve as its eyes, and whatever might lurk behind them or whatever is behind them, you're kind of pulled into them in a weird, unsettling way, and you don't feel like you've synced with your engine enough times that you know what it feels like to have that kind of that vibe, for lack of a better word, that not a consciousness, but like base urges and instincts and things like that sort of probing at the edge of your mind. And this isn't that. You just get pulled in and you get this overwhelming sense of grief and loss. And you don't know if that's what is at the core of this engine, or if it is reflecting Troyan in some way. And truly, you don't even know if this is you projecting this onto the engine yourself. But you get this sense that it is scared of losing something or someone. Like this isn't the first time that's happened, and it doesn't want it to happen again.
I think having learned that, Chief's main thing, he's the chief mechanic. That's why he's called Chief. is he's going to make sure that the way that he mostly gets things done around here is he has a bunch of drones that look like golden scarabs that fly around. I think he's going to make sure that they're paying extra attention, and you can rule this as not something that's going to happen. I want you to call me out on bullshit, but I want to leave one of my scarab drones on this mech to kind of act like as a little buddy to help keep it in good shape, so whatever it's afraid of losing or what could go wrong, it can help out.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And I will just add, the last thing that I will add as you start to turn away from it is like what's on the surface that makes you sad, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's sad that this thing, but what is unsettling about it is it's that sense of somebody holding on to something too hard, of being completely unwilling to let go, regardless of whether it is the best thing for them or the best thing for another person or anything like that. It's that sense of like almost obsession.
As I leave the hangar and leave my scarab there, I turn back to Ahti and I say, hope you can learn to let go, and just walk away.
Right. Cool. You've made preparations. Cogs, you have 2 downtime actions that you have not spent yet.
That's correct.
It's even the playing field here a little bit.
I think Cogs would like to do some investigating.
Ooh, love it. All right. So you're making preparations, but I could see that being a justification for all of the little things that you've been doing around the ship also, is helping to prepare the Bastion for when it is intact next. That being the case, before we get into the questions that you want to investigate, what do you want to roll for your action?
It is an excellent question. I think I would like to roll Analyze. As
That feels
Cox's
very fitting.
primary activity is analysis of their situation.
Yeah, go ahead and roll Analyze.
Absolutely. That is a 5. We want big numbers on this one, right? In this game.
You do want big
5 is
numbers.
good.
5 is a good big number. 5 is 3, so I will put an additional 3 tracks on the 3 ticks on the readiness scale, which fills up tier 1. And if we push over into tier 2 of readiness, then that means that you can pick from the higher list of missions that are available to you when we get to that phase. So that is exciting. The first tier of your readiness is full at the moment. So this is an extension of you fixing things around the ship, doing small things to avert small disasters, but it adds up.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what questions do you want to ask?
From my gather information, yes?
Yes.
1
or 2, it's your discretion.
or 2.
Yeah.
I have 2 in mind. I'll start with this one because I think it's the most interesting question Cogs could ask right now. Especially given that they have run into this person twice now. Which, not unknown to them. What might happen if Cogs started, and this is going to sound a lot more abrasive than I mean it to, if Cogs started railing against Odin's orders?
That's an interesting question. That is an interesting question. The problem, and I kind of have to give you a non-answer here,
That's
unfortunately. One thing that has stuck with you since your time coming back to this particular future, one thing that's different about this one, is that Odin is a blind spot. You don't know anything about Odin. You don't remember reading or hearing or seeing anything about Odin.
I like to imagine that Cogs has a little, like, clearing amid the ship's guts between, like, the pipes and the ventilation, where there's just two walls that meet in some weird design flaw. One wall has their murder board on it of, like, here are things and people that I think could be related to this, and then the other wall is, like, just dirt scratch for anybody but them, is all math. And I think they do a little drawing of Odin, and they stick it up on the board with, like, a loose nail that they've found. I do have one more question then. I was
If you want to, yeah.
expecting that to be a vague answer. What is already in motion here is the other question I have.
Interesting. Given that Odin is a blind spot, his attitude is a little alarming to you. His attitude of, we're all going to die, this is futile. There are plenty of people who have moments of doubt, who think that. Some of them even verbalize it. It's understandable. But normally there's, an element of sadness to that, or they can be talked down or comforted in some way. And the matter-of-fact way that Odin said it makes you wonder what he knows or what might already be in motion related to him.
Okay.
Okay.
Not to make this joke so early, but the cogs are turning in my head.
Get it out of the way now. We never have to make that joke again.
Not true. I will be making it as many times as I can.
It's your prerogative. Fantastic. Very cool. Then let's see. Who still even has... Troyan, I know you have one. Just to make sure I'm still tracking. Troyan, you have one. Cogs, you have one. Tolu, you have one?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, cool. And Troyan and Cogs, neither of you have made a connection yet.
Correct.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Would you like to?
Yes, please.
Okay. Who do you want to make a connection with?
Well, I have a question about this because
Sure.
what Troyan really wants to do is figure out if Marina is still alive. But I don't know that Troyan's allowed to do that.
Probably not. I don't think you've had access to records like that, and I
No.
think you'd know that asking questions like that could jeopardize your anonymity.
Yeah.
So that does put you in kind of a tricky position as far as that's concerned.
In Troyan's mind, the only two people that she's met since coming back that might know that answer are Chief and Cogs.
That's true.
And she didn't want to talk to Chief. there's memories there. That
Okay.
Chief knows who she was. So Cox, we're gonna go talk to Cox.
Okay, cool. Yeah, where can Cogs be found? Because I assume your murder boardroom is kind of a secret.
Yeah, it's like you have to crawl through several vents and then monkey around several very tight pipes.
Yeah, I'm
just
not
to
allowed
see
to
it.
go off grid.
No, for sure not. And I
No.
think probably even in this case, when you do find Cogs, wherever that might be,
Would
There
Cox
is
know
a-
I'm coming and just appear somewhere as I'm walking down the hallway?
that's what I'm wondering.
That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna roll 2d6. That's above average. So yeah, I would say Cox would probably predict that you would need to be intercepted.
Hmm.
Cool. So, yeah, you have your escort, Troyan, but when there's one military officer who basically follows you around at all times, will not speak to you, will barely even make eye contact with you, just kind of stands there at attention, arms crossed behind his back, and just like stares at the wall for the most part.
I think for like the first week she had him, she tried the messing with the guards outside of Buckingham thing, like trying to get him to crack. And finally, like, I feel like got him to crack just a little, just a smidge, and was
Maybe
satisfied.
just a smidge.
And like satisfied that she could, and then just ignored him. He's a piece of furniture now. Might as well be Lindsay Ordain.
That's a pull.
It's because Julia's in that.
Yep.
So I think she's probably walking towards the hangar because I feel like that's probably the only other place she's comfortable with, and she's pulled her jumpsuit up because people get weirded out seeing, pulsing black veins on your neck. Yeah, I feel like she's just walking towards the hangar and Cogs pops out somewhere.
I like the idea for just setting a narrative scene. In my mind, there's a visual of like you approaching the hangar, and there's a walkway, because the hangar's enormous. Obviously, there's a walkway that sort of runs across it.
Mhm.
Oh no, am I?
You're a little choppy
Yes.
for me. I don't know if it's just me though.
Little choppy.
Give it a second to see if it catches up.
A little bit. There's a little lag.
Doing so good.
Yeah, seems like it.
So proud of you,
close,
buddy.
OBS,
We were.
please.
We were doing so good. We good?
Seems like it.
Okay. Cool. I like the idea that there is like a walkway around the top of the hangar. And like as you approach that, you just see Cogs like sitting on the edge, legs kind of dangling off.
Troyan just plops down next to him and glares at nameless soldier until they back off.
Yeah, I mean he'll sort of take up his position like by the entrance to the hangar, like the front of like the top of the walkway. But he's going to keep an eye on you. He's not going to leave or anything like that.
Hello, Cogs.
Hello, Troyan.
What's the highest number you got today?
Today, I would say the same poor schmuck trips on the same poor fallen mop every time, so probably around 3,000.
So, my ever-ending quest to get a 1 count. Today, is Marina on the Citadel?
1,500. Here's the thing about my situation. There are variables that I have yet to nail down, and whether or not I can find this Marina has been one of them. Now, I am capable of anticipating these things, and of course, obviously, one of the first things I would do would be check. And I will divulge it to Will as to whether or not Cogs has indeed found Marina yet.
I think sometimes you have, sometimes you haven't. This time, so far, you haven't.
I've been over to the Citadel as often as needed, per my notes, and I have yet to spot her, let's say.
There are hundreds of ships in the Citadel fleet. And in theory, she could be on any of them.
I'm sorry, she just could be anywhere.
That's fine. It's not fine. I'm lying to you, but I got bored. I'm very bored. These walks are boring as fuck.
Well, I can't imagine you're allowed into general populace space. You
I'm
get
not.
stuck here. No, that's of course. I'm doing my best to. I'm trying to be better about having conversations where I don't already know the answer to everything. It's as small talk, if you will. A skill, some people might call it. I would affirm that assumption about it. I'm not good at it anymore.
You're not. You're really not.
People are just so predictable.
I was not around, quote, people for a very long time, Cogs. You're normal to me.
I appreciate your presence in this, hell. We'll call it hell that I'm trapped in.
Oh, this is your hell.
I have lived through 3,052 iterations of this exact hell. And that is strictly when I started counting.
Cogs, don't take this the wrong way. This is fucking purgatory.
Maybe it is. Perhaps I am
This
being
ain't
tested.
hell.
Point is, I appreciate your presence here because you are, as of yet, the only other person on our team who knows what it's like to die. I'm only offering you this bit of solace because I already know almost everything about everyone else.
How
So-
did you know I died?
Can't
I haven't
imagine
told
anyone.
anybody that.
3,052. Well, that specific question, if that's what you're fishing for, that's 2,470.
That's
It's a fresh one.
interesting. Did I tell you how I died?
About that many times, yes.
Huh.
You're welcome to relay it if you'd like. I've become a really good listener.
No, not today.
I
That's
will,
fair.
I will do more to find Marina if I can. I will The Citadel has records.
Really? I know, based on how Chief is, it's unlikely that she's still piloting. But who's piloting Zeus these days, do you know?
Do I know?
Yeah, I think you do. Zeus is currently being piloted by Gates Keel. Call sign Deadbolt.
Deadbolt. Gates Keel. Most common recurrence are the pilots.
Because we're chosen?
Something like that, yes.
You know, I saw some weird shit in the abyss.
I do know.
And all these sparks are a little more alive than I think they like to tell us. What was yours again?
Postvorta. She's the Roman god of the past, if I recall correctly. Not a heavy conversationalist. But I think she knows.
Maybe heavy enough to put you in a loop.
They don't retain that kind of power post-mortem.
Don't they?
Not to my knowledge. You're
all
a
kinds of
special
power in
case.
an engine.
Sure, but it's not as though once you go over the edge, the god just gets back up and starts walking again.
Don't they?
I've seen a few of you try. All of those are over 1,000, by the way.
One day I'm gonna get a 1. I'm gonna get a 1.
The only time I've ever had to do a 1 was when I started counting.
What was that question?
Same question I get asked every week. Why do you know that?
Who asked it to you? Come on.
I think the first one was Chief, but once I started taking act against my situation, it changed every time.
Who asked it first this time?
This time was Tolu.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Easier to seek out the new pilot than have to explain the situation after they've been on the team for too long.
Yeah, speaking of that, how long does she usually live?
$355. Not the lowest number today. I'm hesitant to give out information like that. I'm still figuring out the maths to make it more predictable what the outcome is. I can't give you an impression of her at this moment. It's wouldn't be fair to her for you to have that expectation.
And Troyan, I think as you open your mouth to ask another question, your escort, whose little name tag on his uniform reads Mason.
Of course it does.
Clears his throat meaningfully by the door, letting you know that you've been out of your cell for long enough.
I didn't even get to see a sun go by.
If he is moved by that complaint, he shows no sign of it.
Oh, that was directed at Cogs. I don't speak to Mason.
That is fair.
Mason thinks he could actually stop me if I did anything, and that's I'm gonna let
He's
him
just doing his
thinking
job.
that. I'm gonna let him keep thinking that.
He's just doing his job.
Troy, you should be nicer to Mason.
Why?
He's trying his best.
He looks like breakfast.
I encourage you to suppress that urge, but I will not stop you if you don't.
What is happening? I guess you're making connections. Troy, you expressed that you wanted to make a connection with Cogs.
Yes.
What do you want to roll for that?
Can I roll analyze?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, you're trying to like piece together bits of information.
Okay. All right, that's 3 dice.
2 because you're not transcended.
That's right. And I'm looking for high numbers, correct?
Yes.
How's the 6?
The highest, unless you roll 2. Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great to me. That is 4 links that Cogs gets for Troyan. And Cogs, if you want, you can make a connection back, since that was very much a back and forth.
So, here's the thing. I'm finding it difficult mentally for me to justify Cogs trying to connect with anyone.
Sure. I mean, it's a little bit of an above the table thing, right? Because you can't, like, you are survivors in a hopeless war at the far end of humanity's future. You're not trying to make connections. You literally can't help yourself.
No, that makes a little more sense than my initial interpretation. I will do that then.
It's when I ask, do you want to make a connection? It's more of, do you want to spend your downtime action on this, as opposed to, are you actively trying to open up to this person?
Yeah, okay, that makes way more sense. Give you confess for this.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Divulging information to Troyan that would not otherwise have.
Yeah.
That's a 3. What's a 3 about?
With a 3, that is 2 links, I believe. Yes. Which makes sense, because Cogs has some difficulty connecting, as we've established. So, Troyan, you only get 2 links on Cogs.
That's okay.
And as Mason escorts you back to your cell, that means we only have 1 downtime action left in play, by my count. It's Tolu's.
Yeah, I think I'd like to do some preparation.
Okay.
Is that one of them?
Yeah, you can absolutely make preparations. How are you readying the Bastion for the next attack?
Let's see. I think... how am I doing that? Let's see. Is there any sort of like training option?
Yeah, I mean, I think that counts, right? Like we're doing this pretty loosely. So you making yourself a better pilot counts as preparing the Bastion for the next attack, since you'll be defending it.
Cool. So I think this section of training is really just going to look like trying to force transcendence. Like,
cool.
If they'll let her in or around the mech.
Yeah, and
get in there and just try and do it.
Yeah, I think you're probably not cleared to take the mech out, but as far as trying to forge that connection, trying to feel that spark ignite inside of you, absolutely you can do that. What do you want to roll for that?
Can I only roll things in which I have little check marks?
Nope. You can roll anything. It's just you'll be rolling 2d6 and taking the lower of the 2 results.
Got it. I think then I want to try Defy.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, this is an active defiance, as nobody thinks you're going to be able to do this, and are, like you said, waiting for you to die so that they can give your mech to somebody else. So,
all right, here we go.
Go for it.
You said roll 2, take the lowest.
Yeah, if it's empty, yes.
Okay, hang on. That is a 3.
Okay, cool. So you are still contributing 2 segments to the readiness tier, which pushes you into tier 2 territory, which means that when it comes time for you to pick the mission you want to go on, you will have access to tier 2 missions. And then you can ask 1 or 2 questions from your gather information options in the process.
Who is the you in these questions? Like, there's what are you really feeling? What are your unmet needs? Is that me?
It could be anybody. It could be it's the object of your questioning, basically. So if you wanted to know how Troyan was feeling, it would be Troyan. If you want to know, I mean, obviously you can connect with your engine. You could try to do that, since that's the essence of what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, let's do that. So I will ask, can I ask what are you really feeling with you being the mech?
Yeah, I think so. I dig that. And I guess I'll just ask you, what does it look like? You're in the cockpit, it sounds like.
Mm.
And you have this link established between you and Ocean. And I think we'll save the description just in the interest of time, since we're just kind of cut to you in the cockpit. But when you are trying to make this connection, you feel very viscerally the way that the mech would respond to you now that you have the cable sort of hooked to you in the back of your neck. You feel sort of very viscerally that if you moved your arm, the engine would respond in kind, right? Mm-hmm. And at the moment, I think that is, at this exact moment, I think that is all you feel, is just that lack of any type of feeling. And obviously you've never done this before. You don't know what it's supposed to feel like. Mm-hmm. But the way people talk about the spark, and the way the other operators talk about syncing with their mechs, syncing with their engines and disappearing into them, and ego death and all of these things, it's so hard for you to imagine or even conceptualize, because for you might as well be like operating a forklift for as much life as this thing seems to have, as far as you're concerned.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you know is that for some reason it picked you. But if that's true, why is it cutting you off like this?
All right. Feels apt.
Does feel apt. You can ask another question if you want, but you could also leave it at 1. It's up to you.
Who here is strong or vulnerable?
Interesting. And I think, and I might need your help with this because I don't know if my notes are accurate, but I think as you are in the cockpit and you are messing around with this and trying to connect to this thing, and you're not taking it out, but who here is strong or vulnerable? On the view screen of your engine, you look out, kind of just glance at it, and you see from across the hangar, standing on that same catwalk where Troyan and Cogs were seated earlier, talking, a man standing there, maybe about your age, wearing a military uniform, but specifically like a starfighter pilot jacket on over it, kind of a bomber jacket. His hands are dangling over the edge, elbows resting on the railing of the catwalk, his hands kind of dangling over. His stance is very casual. His posture is very casual. But on his face, which you recognize, is just the purest hate you've ever seen in your life. And I cannot for the life of me remember what we named this man.
Toby
King.
Thank you.
Toby King.
Right.
You recognize Toby King, who by all rights, by all logic, should have been the next pilot of Ocean. And the vulnerability here is that he hates you.
Fair.
And I think with that bookending our downtime actions, we'll probably go ahead and call it there for the night.
Can I ask
Ran a
one
little
thing?
long. Yeah, what's up?
How do you get out of the hangar? And can I be like standing there watching all this and then like glare at Toby? I want to glare at Toby.
I would say I think Toby is too focused to notice any glares you may or may not be throwing his way. But I'll say that as Mason is getting ready to escort you out of the hangar, you might catch that vitriol, that pure vitriol that is being directed across the way at Tolu.
Okay, then the eyes go to Ocean and Tolu then.
Yeah.
Like, considering.
Fair. Yeah, I think that is going to do it for us here tonight on God Complex and Entropy Emporium for our first episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We did it. Despite everything. We did it.
We did it.
It's still us.
In spite of it all. And I guess we'll just go around and talk about what people have going on and do what we on my normal channel call outroductions. And then go ahead and I'll ask JT if there's anything Entropy needs to talk about. But Cass, do you wanna kick us off again?
Sure. I was just looking at my calendar, which has changed a little. So I will be back on your screens on the 14th over on Singularity roleplay for Fragments of Tomorrow's Apocalypse, which is our City of Mist game where I play a Rift of the God Pan. Nothing bad can come of playing Pan. And then I'll be back here on the 18th for God Complex and alternating Thursdays for that. I'm kind of light this month because there's a lot going on IRL. Let's see here. What else? I think that's it. But yeah, you can come find me in the Discords. I wander. I'm around. This is so much fun. I'm excited. All right, somebody else go.
Yeah.
Hello. Thanks for coming. You can find me again on the internet, Twitter, Z_Mist, Mist with a Y because fantasy. This is the only, really the only like stream I'm doing, but I do a podcast that drops Wednesdays called Pod Against the Machine. It's a Pathfinder 1E podcast. There's dragons and robots and bad guys. Please come check it out. Also join that Discord anytime you want. I'll just tell it to you or something. That's me.
Fantastic. JT?
I will actually go last because I roll Entropy's announcements into my plug.
That makes a lot of sense. Logan?
Hello. My name is Logan, also known as Logan the GM. You can catch me on most social medias under that name. You can catch me here in 2 weeks where I will continue to be your chief. I am designating myself Game Dad. Make sure you all eat your vegetables, and potatoes are not vegetables, they're tubers. Outside of that, you can catch me at Apochromatic Unlimited. Apochromatic Unlimited is an all POC TTRPG collective where we work on raising up the voices of POC creators. We are nominated for a Crit Award. So please, if you have not voted for the Crit Awards, please vote for us. You have until the 7th. We are in the category of Best Up-and-Coming Twitch streaming channel out there. It's fantastic. I am so jazzed about it. Where else you can find me? There, but also if you like Girl by Moonlight specifically, I'm in a podcast called Bloom and Blight where I play an outsider where I play Wolfsbane, who I affectionately refer to as Vegeta if he was a twink. So I don't know if that's completely accurate anymore. If you're listening, he's changed a little bit, but he's still angry. He's still always angry about everything. Outside of that, yeah, keep up with me on social media because I'm trying to be active and trying to engage. Twitter has slowly become shit for a while, but come on, let's save something. Google Sites is not Google Sites, but Google is not coming back with whatever the hell they had.
Circles? I don't even
Yeah.
remember.
No, Circles, Google Plus.
Yep.
Google
Google Plus, that's what it was.
If you want like a quick history lesson, that's basically where TTRPG online space met a lot of people, and then it just fucking disappeared.
Yep. I was there. Youngles.
Hi, I'm Youngles. I'm annoying on the internet almost every day. So there's that you can look forward to over on, the socials and stuff. I have some stuff coming up, but nothing too pressing. Although it is pretty cool that ET1 by Night is in the NJ Webfest and the Minnesota Webfest. So if you haven't watched ET1 by Night and you like TTRPGs and vampires and Korean things, I would go do that. And that's all I got.
Okay. If JT is going last, then I will say hi. Hello, my name is Will. I've been your storyteller tonight, and I will be again in 2 weeks when we come back for more of God Complex. What do I have to talk about? I have to say that this Sunday we will be recording new episodes of Academy H, the Masks actual play podcast that I run and edit and do all of that good stuff for. And we still have our special guest, Kian of Entropy Emporium fame, who you may have heard mentioned several times tonight or seen in the chat. They've been killing it, and we're lucky to have them for another couple of episodes. That also comes out in podcast form when it's done. But we record it live to raise money for charity. So if you want to help us support Doctors Without Borders, you can check that out. Sunday night. Monday the 8th, I will be over on Just the Humans channel running a Fist one-shot for Save the Children. It's a charity TTRPG one-shot. I think the first $100, $300 are getting matched by some very generous people. I don't remember, but check it out. Donate if you can. It's going to be a very good time. The cast is fantastic. Really, really good. This Tuesday, the 9th, I will be on Chaotic Wholesome's table talk show, talking about TTRPGs and things. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. And then I think that's really all I have to plug for a little while. I guess I should... I'm nominated for a Crit Award. I keep forgetting to talk about this on stream, so I will do that. I'm nominated for Best Game Master Indie in the Indie category. Voting is open until the 7th. Like people said, if you wanted to for some reason, you could go and vote for me. The competition
I voted for you, Will. I voted for you, Will.
I also nominated you.
Thank you, both of you. The competition is stiff. I will not fault anyone for voting for somebody else. But yeah, it's out there if you want to do it. Anyway, I think that's it. I'm on social media at @WillemScream. If you want to follow that, I guess it's mostly like gym thirst traps and stuff. And I'll throw that to JT on that note.
What up? I'm JT. I'm the guy that lives here on this channel. You can find me at WeebG all over the internet. You can also find me at Entropy Emporium, because as I said, this is my channel where I have been enabling a lot of people to do a lot of really cool things. And we got even more cool things coming up. But first, on my itinerary, let's have a look here. Next Wednesday is going to be the debut of our Beacon Bites, a mini-series in between seasons of my Beacons actual play, Beacons of Firelight. It's an entirely different cast with two people in this one are in the main cast, but entirely new cast, same world, same system, same bat time, same bat channel on High Shelf on Wednesdays. You can find me on the alternating Wednesdays on The Lost Caravan, as Caldwell in the Nova miniseries, which we are on season 2 now. So, miniseries no more. You can also find me on Saturday, July 20th, over on Live from the Apocalypse as Queen Octavia Frostpin of the Winter Court for a season of Secrets and Shadows, which is our Monster Hearts Regency-flavored game. That has been an absolute delight and blast to be in. Now, Entropy's got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. On Tuesdays, every other Tuesday, including next Tuesday, we have They Call Us Villains, which is a masked horror game run by JD. In 2 days' time, we are debuting a brand new show called Blooming in the Rot, run by Kian, as mentioned, my wonderful beloved partner, who is running Invisible Sun, which is a very, very meaty system for those of you who know it. I did not expect it to be as esoteric as it was. I will also be at that table as Stellan Faust, a deal maker of sorts. And then in 2 weeks, on Friday the 19th, I will be launching my debut as a GM on this channel for the first time ever. We're playing D&D 5e. We're playing a world I've been working on for some time. And we got a Means of Magic game in the works as well. So, that, I think, is everything. Come back in 2 weeks for this also. It has been a very good debut, and we are, of course, very happy to have Will and all these lovely people at this table. Go out and support them, do good things, be good people. I'm posting the links once again in chat, and we're going to raid over to Interpoint Station. They are playing some Lancer tonight, as they are wont to do. But have a good evening, everybody. That will be us.
Hey.
Good night.
Bye.